You're listening to The Weave. And I'm your host. I'm the Weavemaster. And The Weave is it's a program. It's sort of a struggle. It's my struggle. But it's also your struggle. It's your struggle too. But it's mostly my struggle. It's your struggle on the weekends. You can have the struggle on the weekends. I'll get the struggle for the rest of the week. And I don't know if we're going to, maybe we'll live, the struggle will live in one house, and so we'll own, what's going to happen is we will have to get in our own separate apartments, and when we are with the struggle, so the struggle doesn't have to, because we don't want the struggle to have to always move around to go to your place and then go to my place. So the struggle will always live in the house, and we're gonna have to leave during our times, and I'm gonna be there most of the time. I'm gonna be there during the week, and you'll come for the weekends, and so then I'll go to my little apartment and I'll have some fun. But then mostly it's my struggle. It's my struggle. The Weave is a hissy fit. It's a cosmic hissy fit. The Weave is a slap on the face while you're on the toilet because your son is Bam Margera. What a terrible job you did with your son, by the way, because for a while we liked him. He was okay. He was chaos for a little while, and we thought there was a little bit of innocence to it. It was sort of like a fun little innocent chaos, but eventually we realized he was actually a problem. And so much so of a problem that he wasn't even in the most recent Jackass movie, and that was a failure on your part because you're his parents and you failed us, really. But I think that the Jackass, actually, the most recent one, was actually a lot better without Bam. And I think it was actually a good thing that he screwed up because the movie was a lot more entertaining. Because he's a wild card, so you don't know he means it. You know, they're being violent to each other for fun. But with him, I think he sort of means it. He sort of wants to hurt people. But imagine getting kicked off a Jackass. Imagine how much you gotta really sort of screw up to get kicked off a Jackass. Because Johnny Knoxville will tolerate anything. You could zap him with a cattle prod, and he'll be fine with it. So what does it take to get kicked off a Jackass? Well, I don't know. Let's ask your son. Let's ask your son, Bam. I think what it takes is maybe he had a problem, and he was drinking too many of the drinks, and he was pilling too many of the pills. And they said, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. If you stop, we promise you can do the Jackass, but you gotta stop. And apparently it was a lot more important to him to pill the pills and drink the drinks than it was to be in the new Jackass movie. And that's so sad. It's so sad, but you failed your child, and that's your problem. But the Weave is an adventure, and it's a writhing, really. The Weave is a weave. The Weave is writhing on the ground like a snake. And what we do is, on this program, we start on one topic, and people love the topic so much. They say, Weavemaster, this is such a beautiful topic. I don't want you to leave the topic. But you gotta leave the topic. You gotta leave, because there's a lot of other topics that I want to cover. And they get worried. They say, when's the original topic coming back? I say, don't worry, we're gonna, but I've gotta do the other ones. And it's a tease. It's sort of a tease, and it's gooning. Really, it's gooning. And they say, please, Weavemaster, we just want the original topic. And their nipples are so hard because of the anticipation. And then brilliantly, I swoop in sort of a brilliant way. And people, they look up in the sky. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's the Weavemaster, and he's so brilliant. And I brilliantly swoop in, and I go back to the original topic. And that's the Weave. That's really is what the Weave is. And today we're going to talk about, and this is a big one, folks, because people have been asking me about this one for a long time. It's a long time coming. But today we're going to talk about fingers. We're going to talk about fingers, finally. It's the big one, folks. We're talking about fingers. And fingers are really, they're the toe of the hand. If you're to say anything about fingers, you should say, they're the toe of the hand. They're the feelers. They're the feelers. Fingers are the feelers. When you gotta feel something, you ask the fingers, excuse me, fingers, I'd like to know how that breast feels. And you ask the fingers, you say, could you feel that breast? Excuse me. You say, excuse me. Fingers, excuse me. I'd like to know how that breast feels. Perhaps you're in a party setting and you see a breast you'd like to feel. So you ask the fingers and they say, yes, sir, Mr. Weavemaster, sir. Yes, and anything you like, Mr. Weavemaster. And they reach out and they feel the breast and they gather information for you, and it's sort of a reconnaissance mission that the fingers do. And then they come back, they report back to you, and they say, Mr. Weavemaster, sir, the breast felt wonderful, sir. And you say, thank you so much, fingers, for all the fine reporting. And it really was fine reporting. Fingers are excellent journalists for how breasts feel. But they don't have mouths, so you say, excuse me, Weavemaster, excuse me. How did the fingers talk to you if they don't have mouths? And really, they communicate telepathically. That's how fingers talk to you. It's like Professor X. And they're also, just like Professor X, they're bald like Professor X. They don't have any hair on their tips, which are the finger heads. That's what I call them. They're the tips. What they do is it's telepathic. It's called telepathic. So what you do is you feel, and then they shoot the information directly into your brain, and Professor X style. And I say Professor X. I say Professor X. A lot of other people, they might say Jean Grey. But why do I say Professor X instead of Jean? Because we didn't like so much what she did with the Dark Phoenix. That was really a nasty thing that she did to all of us. And a lot of people, when she became regular Phoenix, everybody said, that's going to be fine. She's going to be fine. I trust her. Let's just let her do her thing. But I went around, I told everybody, I said, excuse me. I said, I don't trust her so much. It's too much power. And I don't think that she can handle it. What I think is going to happen is regular Phoenix, I think something nasty is going to happen, and I think it's going to be Dark Phoenix. And they didn't believe me, but guess what? In the end, I was right. And because that's what happens. If you give regular Phoenix an inch, Dark Phoenix takes a mile. It's an old saying, and I don't understand why they didn't trust me. But that's what happened, and so that's why I say Professor X. I don't like Jean Grey so much, and I think maybe they do the next movie, they do it with no Jean Grey, because we should really forgive her for the Dark Phoenix thing. A lot of people died, and I would have saved a lot of lives if they just took my advice, but of course, they didn't listen to me. What happened? A lot of people died. Is what happened. Some people say that the thumb is a finger. Can you believe that? I think these people are sick. I think people that say this, the thumb is a finger, I think they should be locked up. And I think you should be able to hurt them. Because when somebody says the thumb is a finger, I don't think that that kind of opinion makes you not a person anymore. And I think we shouldn't treat them like people, so we lock them up. And they're beasts. Really, they're beasts. If you count with your thumb, and then maybe that's not, you're not a person anymore. Maybe because when you start counting, now think about this. Now we do one. This is one. It's the pointer finger. When you count with your thumb isn't one. Thumb is five. Pointer finger is one. When you get the foam finger at the sports games, it says number one. What does it say on it? I'll ask you. Okay, I'll give you a second. And take your time. You can even look it up. Look it up online. When you get the foam finger, you go to a sporting event, and you get the foam finger. What is it? What does it say? What is it? It's one. It says number one, and it's pointing with the pointer finger. Thumb is not number one. And when you have Ghostbusters 2, the Ghost, it's a sequel. And the Ghost logo is making the two. It's making the two with its pointer finger and its middle finger, because middle finger is two. It's not doing a thumb and a pointer finger. because that would look weird and it's not such good graphic design. That's why the ghost does the two, the number one pointer finger and the middle finger. Thumb is not one, thumb is five, thumb is five. And when you get those people and they say thumb is one, I think you see somebody and you're around somebody and they start counting. And they go one with the thumb and they go two with their pointer finger like that. You have my permission to lock them up and do whatever you want with their body. Because you're not people, they're beasts. That sort of opinion makes you a beast. Beast, sort of like an X-Men, who I do respect. I don't think he counts as a person, and I don't think that Beast should have a social security number. But I like that he's smart. I like that he's Frasier. Those are the two things I like about Beast. I like that he's smart. I like that he's Frasier. But no social security number, and he's not a person. Fingers are part of a little thing that we like to call the hand. And the hand is a complete unit. Fingers are just part of it. And in between you have the palm, which is the nub. It's a nub, and it's sort of a chunk between the fingers and the arm. It's like a fleshy bureaucracy. The arm says, I sure would like to get to the fingers first. The arm loves her fingers. But the palm says, you gotta get through me first. It's like a spiteful middleman. I think things would be a lot more efficient if the palm was gone. If the palm wasn't in the way, and if it was just arm and then fingers, I think that would be a lot more efficient. But the body disagrees, and we're in the middle of working on negotiating that right now. There's gonna be a better way. I think it should be arm, fingers, and so I'm talking to a few people right now, and we're gonna try to figure something out for you like that. But in the meantime, we're stuck with the palm, sadly, and it's so sad. It's such a sad thing. But sadly, we are stuck with the palm. It's sort of the appendix of the hand. That's what I like to call it. The palm is the appendix of the hand. I would like arm and then fingers, and I think that it would be a better look. It would be and you could grab more quickly, and there's less for the fingers to get through when they have to talk to your brain. I don't understand, but some people, they like palm, and I don't like those people so much. And one fun trick that people like to do it's a fun little trick. It's been around for years. Is what you do is you take your hand and you sit on your hand. You sit on your hand for a little while until it goes numb, and then you can do sexual. You do sexual with your hand, and it doesn't feel like you're doing it, so they call it a stranger. But I don't like that so much. I'm not a big fan of stranger. I don't like the loneliness. I think it's a lonely thing. So what I like to do is it's my own trick, and it's a little bit more of an intense trick. But what I do is I don't even sit on the hand at all. And then I do the same things to myself. But I call it a friend. I give myself a friend. Excuse me, I'm gonna go out back. I just have to give myself a friend, if that's okay. If that's okay with you, just gonna go behind the seafood restaurant. I'm enjoying the meal. This has been a beautiful meal, and I know that we're only halfway through, and I don't want you guys to leave, but I just need to do myself a little favor. So you guys continue to eat your calamari, which also, I don't know, did you do the research? Because some calamari is pig butthole. So I don't know if you asked before we came, but either way, they're both delicious. But you could be eating pig butthole, but I would say continue to eat the pig butthole. I'm just going to go out back behind this beautiful seafood restaurant that we're having a nice gathering at, and I'm going to give myself a friend, if that's okay. Because a pal is a wonderful thing. It's sort of an old-fashioned saying that I love to say. A pal is a wonderful thing, and also even a beautiful thing. But I do think that you can use the stranger as a legal loophole. This is something that I've wanted to talk about for a while. That's why it's so exciting to do fingers this episode. I think stranger is a nice trick for legal loopholes. If you want to do a crime, what you can do is you sit on your hand until it's numb, And then you do your crime with that hand. So say this is the numb hand. You do the crime with this hand. And then you can say a stranger did it. I think it should be called the stranger defense. What do you think about this? A good name for the defense? I like it. I'm still working on it, but right now we're calling it stranger defense. And the judge will say, why did you kill that poor man? And you say, Your Honor, 'twasn't I killed the man, for I sat on my hand until it was numb, and so therefore, Your Honor, it was like a stranger did it. And the judge will say, well, this is quite a paradox, lots of sweat going down the judge's face, quite the paradox, and I have no choice but to let you go, my boy. And I say try it. I can't make any promises, but I think it's worth a shot. And if you get away with it, you could make it into the history books. And I think that'd be a great thing. You make it into the history. That's the guy that got away with killing all those guys using the stranger defense. And if you don't get away with it, big deal. You go to jail. Who cares? Big deal. I heard jail isn't even as scary as they say it is in the movies. I think that's sort of just a scare tactic to try to keep you out of jail. But a lot of people that I've talked to who have been in prison, they say it's really not much of a big whoop. You make a couple of friends, you give yourself a couple of friends, and you have meals every day, and you sort of have a good time. One of my favorite, I love prison movies. That's one of my favorite kinds of movies is the prison movie. I love prison movies, and one of my favorite prison movies, I would have to say, is Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood. We love on the show, on the Weavemaster loves, and we love Clint Eastwood, and we love prison movies, and Alcatraz. We love Alcatraz, we love Eastwood. It's sort of like peanut butter and jelly, and I don't know which one I think the peanut butter is. I'd have to think about that, and I don't know which one would be the jelly. That's a tough one. I would probably say, gun to my head, I would say probably Eastwood is the peanut butter, and the jelly is Alcatraz. I think the Alcatraz would be jelly, but that's only gun to my head. Gun to your head is an interesting phrase that people like to use when you have to make a tough decision. It's time for a tough decision. So what do? We do gun to head, and it's sort of violent, but it gets the job done. And that's why I carry a gun around with me everywhere I go. I've got a gun in my purse. And then if I need to make a tough decision, I pull the gun out, gun to my head, time for a tough decision, I point it right at my head, and then you gotta make a decision quickly when the gun's to your head. Tamagotchi or Furby? It's Furby! It's Furby! And that's how I found out I was a Furby guy. But I recommend, if you're gonna do that, I recommend that you sit on your hand first, because then it's like a stranger is asking the question. My favorite scene in Escape from Alcatraz would have to be, and this is probably everybody's favorite scene, maybe not so original, but my favorite scene would be when the guy is in the workshop and he's sitting there chopping up the wood and they're making tables or whatever prison furniture they're working on. And he goes, "Officer, excuse me, officer, I'd like a hatchet." He looks at him right in the face. "I'd like a hatchet." And the officer goes, "We can't, it's prison, we can't give you a hatchet. I'm so sorry, but we can't." And he goes, "Officer, how am I going to make all this furniture without a hatchet?" And the officer goes, "You've got me. Here's a hatchet. Do what you got to do." And so he hands him the hatchet. And you're watching the movie and you're like, well, now that this prisoner's got a hatchet, he's going to make some incredible furniture. But then what he does is quite a surprise, because he pulls the hatchet out and he chops off a little thing, and it's called his fingers. We did it again, folks. Because I don't know if you remember, but this entire episode, it was fingers. But you may have forgotten. And what we did was we started on fingers. And then we talked about, and before that we talked about Bam Margera a little bit. And then we talked about X-Men. And we talked about giving yourself a stranger. And we talked about the palm. And we had a little conversation earlier on about the thumb. and how people who use thumb as one should be locked up. We gotta lock them up, and we gotta treat them like, not so much like people, but more like beasts. And we talked about Frasier, and we talked about peanut butter and jelly, and then we sort of wiggled our way. What we did was we tucked ourselves into a little, it's like you're climbing through the catacombs, and you gotta make yourself as small as possible because you're a spelunker. But in this case, you're a weaver, and you tighten yourself up and you wiggle through. And then we were talking about Alcatraz, and brilliantly, we talked about fingers once again, because I brought it back, and that's what we do. That's what we do here on The Weave, folks. It's a little show. It's called The Weave. And he really did. He took the hatchet out, and he chopped the fingers, and bing! And the fingers came right off, and it was a horrifying moment, but that's what makes movies beautiful. And I want to thank you guys once again for listening to The Weave and being a lovely audience. And I love you guys. I love you guys so much. And I love the hate mail. And so if you could keep sending more hate mail, I'd appreciate that. It gives me energy. It makes me live. It makes me want to live, if you believe that. And also, maybe grow a mustache. That's what I want to say. A little advice for you. Grow a mustache, because the chin strap, it's not working out. It looks a little pathetic. It looks like you can't grow a mustache. And if you can't, just shave it off altogether. But the chin strap, you look like sort of a Civil War guy who can't get laid. And we don't like that so much for you. Mostly for you. It looks pathetic. So I say, no chin strap. Finish it off with the mustache or shave it all off. That's my advice for you this week. And other than that, I just want to say I love you guys so much. I love you guys. And there's a little thing that we like to say at the end of every episode, and this episode will be no different. It's a little phrase, and it's called bye-bye, 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 bye-bye. You see the fingers? They're going bye-bye, bye-bye.